Me, not you. Thank you. This is why you're here. This is Philly Rose. She's my office manager. So the only rule we have at our company: be nice to Philly. You don't have to be nice to me. Be nice to Philly. Okay? She does a good job too, and she got her insurance license 2 years ago. So we're real proud of Philly for doing that. And but a round of applause for Philly. Thank you. Okay, if you have a phone, turn it off for me for about an hour. I would appreciate it. I know, you're a good girl. But if you do, if you would, I would appreciate it. I'm going to talk about 45 minutes or until I get tired, or you get tired of hearing me. Just if you have any questions for me, we take all of them at the end of the seminar. I'll be right over there. You can ask me anything within reason that you want. But I don't have anything that I won't tell you. I mean, I've been doing this for 37 years this year. Someone said, "Is that your picture in the brochure?" I said, "Your mother give you any manners?" I have a lot of my clients here today. Just raise your hands if you're a client of mine. Okay, you see all of them around. They all have one thing in common: they haven't lost any money. That's a good thing. Yeah, believe me. Yeah, clap. You just gave me more money last week. But I don't tell anybody what to do. That's not my job. We have another lady coming in right here. Oh, that's Mr. and Miss Cobbles. I'll let them in. They're good clients. Come on in, Jack and Maria. Come on over. Welcome to the party. Give me that seat right there, Mark. I'm going to put you right here. Right here. Have a seat. See, now everybody gets to know you, Jack. Bom dia, como está? Bom dia. Good to see you. Hello. Okay, I did two for the Portuguese. All right, now we're going to start. I got everybody here today. Okay? Boy, you're right close to me, too. By the way, my name is Fred Hackney. I own the company. I've owned it for 37 years. I was a broker for 15 years on Wall Street. I just left it in 1997. I could no longer put my client, make sure they don't make any noise in the back, please, sir. I have, in 1997, I decided I was going to take all my clients out of the stock market. I did. 98% of them went with me. And then the 2000 bubble burst in the market. People lost half their net worth. I met with a guy last week that he sold his real estate, put it into tech stocks, and lost $1 million in 2 days. 50 years of work, 2 days, all of it gone. It's not worth the risk, but I don't tell anybody not to do it. If you want to keep your money at risk in the market, I'm not the right guy for you. But my clients say, "Fred, I cannot afford or don't want to lose the money," then they come to Fred, okay? I had, at the end of the meeting, Philly is going to come, and she's going to pick up your this part of your questionnaire. It tears off this side. It says, "Yes, I want an appointment." "No, I don't." If you check no, you'll never hear from me again. But if you check yes, we'll set you up an appointment for me. Most of my appointments today are going to be done in March. I'm going in for stem cell consultation next week about my hip because I have a bad hip and now I got a bad knee because I didn't listen to Jack. But we're going to, this is temporary. But Philly's going to come around and pick all these up, and unless you hand this in, we don't eat. Put this over, you go Rosario. He's the owner of the restaurant. He's the main server. And if you have today, I'm going to buy your lunch. Next time, come back and buy one on yourself. So I want you to come back.
On weekends, we have live music. If you want to join us, we have seafood, we have paellas, we have the Portuguese food in the Portuguese way. Big, huge portions.
Not much of familiar.
Okay, well, I'm married, I have 2 kids.
Happily?
Yes, I am. At the moment, yes. Most of the times, I'm happy.
You got a new child?
Yes, I have a new one. Well, not me, my wife. I have a new child, so everything's okay. Fred is one of my best friends, and
for lunch, and then you're going to get Brazilian ice cream for dessert. So if you don't speak Portuguese, you eat enough food, you speak Portuguese. Okay? I'm not Portuguese. I'm adopted Portuguese. Right, Dina? You love me, right?
I do.
because I took care of the money. I'll never forget it. Dina de Oliveira,
Yes.
right? She says, quit messing up my last name, just call me Dina. I met with her. She had known me from Mrs. Pereira. Where's Maria at?
I'm here.
Oh, you're over there? Quit hiding. Come here.
I'm the door person.
You're the door person? I got to give you a raise from 0. Okay? And because of Maria, I know a lot of the Maria knows everybody that's Portuguese in Palm Coast. Okay? So I had to get her to like me than everybody else did, and she didn't like me in the beginning, right? Nope. But about 4 years later, you did.
Yep.
Right? And you like me real good now, right?
Yes.
And why did you become a client?
Well, I became a client because I didn't like what my money, my retirement fund was doing. One day was up, one day, 2 days was down, and I said, well, let's try Jack. Well, let's try Fred. And,
I'm Fred.
Yes, I know you're Fred. Let's try Fred because these things don't look very good. It's keeps coming down, and I don't have any more years to work. So I needed those funds to stay safe for my children, for myself and my husband. So I went with
And your
Fred.
mother?
And my mother too, yes. And Fred has been doing really well. I actually fall asleep at night and stay asleep at night because I was very leery since 9/11. The crash today, crash tomorrow, and I was not happy with that. Fred gave me peace of mind, which is what you want at this stage of our game. We want peace of mind, and that's what you gave.
And every penny that you gave is in there, right?
It sure is.
And it's grown, right?
Yeah, it's
You
grown.
just took some income last week, right? You like that, right?
Yeah.
But you can't get income if your money's not there,
Yeah.
right?
No matter how high it goes.
And your mama didn't like me very much either, but she loves Freddie now.
No, she always liked it.
But anyway, Maria is the unofficial social director of the Portuguese club. She knows everybody in town, so I want to make sure she's happy. Okay. Anyway, thank you. But if you want to, go to my website, hackneyandassociates.com. It's on the back of the brochure. It's on the business card. My cell phone's on the card. My Better Business Bureau testimonials are on the Better Business Bureau site. I have an A+ rating, never lost a penny, never had a complaint, and that's pretty remarkable. In the 26 years at the Better Business Bureau, to never have a complaint's pretty good, isn't it? Why? Because I'm dealing with what? You! No. I'm dealing with the public, and it's hard to please everybody, okay? And then Jack and Maria Gonzalez right here, you refer me some of your friends, right? You're happy with me, right?
I'm happy.
Huh?
I'm happy.
You haven't lost any money, right?
I haven't lost any money.
I'd rather deal with you than her. But it's important that you keep what you make, and I'm going to show you what I do here in a minute. I had a lady, all I ask, if you make an appointment and you get home today and you cannot keep it, call me on my cell phone. My cell phone's on the card, on the brochure. There's no reason not to call, and we can reschedule it, but I'm going to make you an appointment today before you leave. I said, Jack Gonzalez? Yeah, we're within 27 years. I got the car. Call Petreo. Call Petreo Rebembas. Tell him I'm good. And how's it worked out for you? Good for you and your familia? Everything good? But it's very important that I do what I say and say what I do. And I can tell you one thing. Everything I tell you is the God's honest truth, the way I know it and I understand it. But I'm smart enough to know what I don't know. No one likes someone that knows it all. That's stupido, okay? But I'm smart enough to know if I don't know the answer, I'll get you the right answer so you can make an informed decision that you feel good about. All I ask, if you make the appointment, keep it. I had a lady last week call me, cancel my appointment. I said, ma'am, you didn't make one. Cancel it anyway. Oh my God. Oh my God. I can't deal with it. I didn't make an appointment, ma'am. You didn't make an appointment. Well, I want you to cancel it anyway. So, what can you do, Jack? You just have to go on. What can you do? Anyway, where is Christine? Christine, stand up, please. That's Christine Camacho. She's from New Jersey. Her parents live here in Palm Coast. She's an attorney I use for a lot of my legal work for clients, the wills and so forth like that. And she's done a lot of work for people in this room. She's right across the street in her building that her parents own. And so Christine's going to be here today after the meeting. If you want an appointment with Christine, I'll set it up for you. Don't worry about it. Thank you, Christine. Elise Barbosa, hello.
Hello.
Her brother owns the building we're sitting in, by the way. But Elise does all the clients, a lot of my taxes for my clients. So if you need tax work done, Elise Barbosa. So you got the Portuguese connection right there, okay? Thank you, Elise. But I was in Melbourne yesterday, or 2 days ago, and a lady says, I want someone to do the taxes, and I don't know anyone in Melbourne. I said, come to Palm Coast, I'll get you taken care of. So they're going to come up to Palm Coast. She's going to do the will, she's going to do the taxes. Now, here's the deal. Consultation, I don't charge for that. I come to your home. It takes a couple hours. I will give you a checklist of what I need to see that applies to you. I just asked that we're going to give you an appointment card. My name and number's on the card. My name and number's on the brochure. My name and number's on the business card. So if you can't keep this appointment, please call me a few days ahead of time and I'll be glad to reschedule it. Is that fair? Is that fair? Just respect my time. I mean, I'm very busy. I work 3 appointments a day. I get home. I haven't seen my home in the daylight in 6 months, okay? I get up at 4, so if you want to start at 5, I'm available, okay? I'm like a union man, okay? But most of my clients start about 9, 9:30. I had a lady one day last week, she goes, boy, my dog likes you. I said, why? He goes, he just peed on your leg. I said, she gave me $500,000, he could pee on the other one. Okay? But yesterday I was with a guy that was referred to me. And he's 85, his wife's 75. So when he sat down, he goes, what do you do? I said, ask me nicely, you know. And he had about $600,000 in the stock market. And his wife's 75, he's 85. And I said, sir, how much of that money can you afford or do you want to lose? He goes, well, I don't want to lose any of it. And she says, that's a good answer. And I said, if I could show you how to not lose any more, because he's already lost about $300,000, would you move the money? Maybe his wife goes, yes, Fred, he'll move it. But he wouldn't budge. He wouldn't listen to me. And he was pretty rude. So I said, sir, I wish you well, and I walked out of the house. So that's 1 in 100. 98% of the people I meet with become clients, and they refer a lot of people to me. Americo Cantabas, you were referred to me, and you referred your friend Jose Machado. Mr. Moda, you know him. Mr. Moda referred. Who else did you refer to me? I know that one. Yeah, many, right? And you know why? Because I'll do a good job for them. Okay, I promise you that. You don't have to worry about your friend calling me and says, God, I went with Fred, I lost half my money. You don't ever have those phone calls. I don't care who you voted for, who you're married to, what nationality you are, what color you are. I don't like any of them in Washington. I think they're all criminals, okay? You know? It's a shame what's going on up there, but I can't control what's happening in Washington. All I can control, but what they do is what they say, and what they do can affect your money. Okay? So I protect your money. There's 2 questions you need to ask any retirement planner or any financial advisor. 1, has your clients lost any money? And if it's a broker, they're going to say yes. Question number 2. What have you done to prevent that from ever happening again? They won't be able to give you an answer. My clients have not lost 1 penny of their money since 1997 when I left the Wall Street casino. You can't even go to your banks in Palm Coast without being directed to a broker every day. Right? Yeah. And what you're going to say is, no, thank you. Okay? You should not have to go to the bank and be badgered to meet with a guy or girl that's going to put your money at risk of loss. All of my clients trust and a firm belief in what I tell them to be the God's honest truth and my ability to conduct myself professionally and always be there for them. Now, I went to visit a client in the nursing home last week, and I come in with a cane. Welcome. I go, I'm not staying. I'm here for an hour. 98% of the people in there were women, right? And I tell you, I was the only guy in there. I felt like I was baked. But she says, we haven't had a visitor in a week. Okay? That's a true story. So I'm just telling you, one of the risks that we talk about protecting your estate from is long-term disability. There's only 3 things that can happen to you. Live too long, die too soon, or become disabled. This is temporary, because if don't have this cane next month, Dina's going to kill me. You've been telling me that for a year, right? Okay, I got to listen to Mama, right? But anyway, what my job is to protect your estates from risk of loss. Today they're filming for my website. You're not going to be on camera. Mark Burgandy's over there, and his mother's been a client of mine for 15 years. Has she lost any money?
Nope.
Not a dime.
Not a
You
dime.
glad about that?
I'm very happy
And
about
when your
that.
dad passed away, was I at the service, sir?
Yes, you were.
That's the first time I met you. Was that important?
Yes, very much.
Because you know what? I try to be the best in the country at what I do, but I care more. And care's a big deal. You know, care's a big deal. Edwino Demora, where you at? He's back there. He's another guy from, he's from New York, but he's referred me a lot of his friends from the unions up there because they were all, by the way, I love New Jersey and New York. Keep raising those taxes. I want them all to move to Florida. I want them all to move. You know, 20 years ago, you moved to Florida, you still had to pay the New Jersey state tax. Now you don't. So not only is it warmer here, we're very retirement friendly here. City, state, local, federal. No wonder everybody gets out of those states. Okay? You know, 1,000 multimillionaires left New Jersey last month because they taxed them to death. If you've got money, you've got mobility. Okay? So keep raising those taxes up there in New Jersey and New York. I love it. Okay? Second thing, I'm adopted, so I'm pro-life. Yay me. And now they just passed a law in New York, you can kill a baby once they've been born. You kill a baby when they're born, that's murder. Okay? New York, that's a disgrace. And I lost a lot of clients in 9/11 in the World Trade Center, and they lit it up pink last week to celebrate that law. That's wrong. I don't care who you vote for. You kill a baby, that's murder. Will you agree? Yes. Now, you'll never see an adopted guy like me want an abortion. I'm kind of glad I didn't get one. But I can't tell anybody what to do. Okay, but I have my belief. The second belief I have is no one deserves your money that didn't earn it. You know, I had underestimated my quarterly taxes last year by about $90,000, which is ridiculous. By the way, have you ever paid any income tax? Ever? Federal? You pay tax, right? Did you get a receipt? Why not? How many people here ever got a receipt for their income tax? You never got an itemized receipt for, hello, Mr. and Miss Bertola. How are you? Bon dia. Why don't you get a receipt? You go to 7-Eleven, buy a piece of gum. The government don't even tell you where your money goes. Half of it goes to people you don't know, and I don't like that. Right? So that's, you know, I have clients that are Democrat, Republican, Independent. No one deserves your money that didn't earn it. Okay? And all of my clients from overseas, Portugal, Brazil, Venezuela, Argentina, UK, they all came here legally. Legally. I don't have any obligation to someone that, for welfare, you're not a U.S. citizen. Period. Okay? I saw a guy on TV yesterday, his daughter got killed by an illegal alien. Okay? Right? 18 years old. And if that would have happened to Nancy Pelosi's daughter, you'd have that wall of mark. Okay? And she got a wall around her house. Okay? Now, what do we do? 5 risks, really 6 or 7 risks that I protect my clients from. Number 1 is market risk. Okay? I tell people I can't do a plan if the money's not there. Period. I can't do a plan if the money's not there. Now, a lot of you are non-Portuguese descent here. Listen, I have clients from all over the world, but I've been with the Portuguese community here about 10 years now. You go to any restaurant, any business in town, you'll see my smiling face on the brochure. You know, they all recommend their friends. They all have a lot of family, right? Because they're all Catholic, right? Oh, God, I have a good time with it. Someone says, when are you going to retire? I said, you better wish me good health. Because no one's going to do it the way I do it. No one. You know, and if your surgeon dies, you're going to get a new surgeon. But when I pass away, okay, I've got to hire someone younger than me, and I've got Dina's grandson coming down in the 28th. He's 20, how old, 28 years old?
26.
26 years old. He's even younger than I thought. But I'm going to have other people work for me, but no one's going to do it the way I do it because I own this business, okay? And I was offered multi-million dollars for it a few years ago, and I told the guy from New York, it's not for sale. They could care less about my business. All they want is the money I have under management, because eventually it's going to come due. So my business isn't for sale, okay? You don't have enough money to buy it, all right? Market risk, the number one. Anybody in here ever played the lottery? Raise your hand. I see you playing it all the time. I'm in Palm Coast every day. See, I used to have my name on the back of my truck, Hackney Associate. Some lady called me. Is this the owner? No, ma'am, he's not in right now. Tell him when he gets there. I saw someone speeding in his truck today. I said, I'll make sure I get on there when he come in. I took my name off my truck. Oh my gosh, you know, people have too much time on their hands. I don't speed anyway, okay? But if you play the lottery and you win, someone raise their hand, plays the lottery again. You play the lottery? Maria, if you win the lottery, 100 million, what's the first thing you're going to do? Call Fred. That's me. You're going to call me and you're going to get 100 million. And I'm going to lease a jet from the airport. We're going to fly up to Tallahassee in a Learjet. I'll pay for you and Tony to go. And they're going to make you an offer. Here's 62 million cash, which is what you're going to take. Or you can take a 30-year annuity. They don't put the money in the stock market. Why not? Because it can go down. You can't get a guaranteed income from an account that's not guaranteed. So if they're not doing with billions of dollars in lottery winnings a year, what are you doing it for? End of story. Where's Lydia? For embroidery. Hello, Lydia. That's Lydia's embroidery back there. That's Lydia of Lydia's embroidery. So if you need any embroidery done, go see Lydia and Tony, right? She does all of my jackets, right? And Mr. Moda has one on today. You take too, right? You got the Hackney Associate jacket on, right?
Yeah.
But Lydia does a nice job with embroidery right down the street. So if you need some work done, go see Lydia and Tony, okay? That's a free plug for you today, okay? Market risk. I don't tell anybody what to do. If you want to gamble with your money, go right ahead. It's not guaranteed. 2000, the market crashed. What happened in 9/11? What happened to the stock market? Why did the 19 troglodytes get on 4 aircraft and change the world? Because they wanted to hit New York City, which is the what? Financial capital of the world. Did it work? Oh yeah. And the World Trade Center coming down was just a bonus for them. Let me ask you a question. Did you get out that day? No. They closed the market to the 17th of September. You could not get your money out, period. How did you feel? What if you needed it? What if your family needed it? What if you needed it? I had a lady come into my office in the Villages. She said, I need my money. I said, I'll get it to you. I'll have to get it driven to New York. Why couldn't they fly it to you in New York? Because all the aircraft were grounded. It's the first time in the history of America that George Bush said, if you don't bring the planes down, we're going to shoot them down. And you don't think that can happen again? I got news for you. They're planning it right now. They will do it tomorrow. See, you love your family, you love your kids, they'll kill their kids to kill you. That's a fact. So don't tell me it can't happen, because I lost family members of my clients in 9/11. I got a bracelet right there I wear every day to remind me of that. I've donated a lot of money to New York to the 9/11 Foundation for First Responders. But if it happens again, you think the market's going to go up? I don't know, you don't know, and your broker doesn't know. This is serious business. The reason I still do what I do, I love people. Not everybody, but most everybody. I love my clients. I love their stories. I love to hear where they work. You know, and I can tell you one thing. If I'm dealing with a husband and wife, every year I have to meet with widows. And you can go to my website and read the story after story after story of widows that say Fred did exactly what he said he was going to do, when he said he was going to do it. I had a widow yesterday, a lady yesterday, I said, if your husband died today, who would you bring in as an expert in post-retirement planning to help you with all the paperwork that you're going to have to do? She says, Fred. I said, good answer. Because I'll be there and I care about it. And I don't care what that broker says, what that insurance agent says, what that attorney says. You tell me to get that money, I'll go get it. And by the way, if you have a broker and you're working with me and you tell them to go to cash, the first thing they're going to say, well, what are you going to do with it? What's your answer? None of your business. Unfortunately, your friends didn't say that last week. You're none of your business. Well, here's the other one. Well, I can do what Fred's going to do. Then why haven't you done it in 10 years, genius? Listen, Fred's in charge. You're going to send the money to his company, and you better do it when I send you the paperwork. And I'll tell you another thing. When I get that paperwork sent over to transfer that money, I give them 3 days. And every one of those companies that I transfer from have an overnight address, overnight prepaid bill. To send it overnight, 80% send it regular mail. That's disrespecting you and your money. And if you call me today and you say, Freddie, I don't want you to work anymore, where do you want me to send the money? No questions asked. No one should tell you what to do with your money but you. Not your broker, not Fred Hackney, not your banker, not your attorney. I love that one. You win the lottery, you better hire an attorney. You better bring me in to protect the money. That trust doesn't matter. Those legal documents don't matter at all if the money's not there. Somebody says, well, what do you love money? Look, money won't make you happy, but it lets you be miserable in the better part of town. By the way, I've been broke and rich is much better. Legal risk, now and at death. You have a car wreck out here, you're going to meet those attorneys in Orlando. The ones that are for the people, unless they're suing you, you know who I'm talking about? You better get you an umbrella policy to protect your assets from a lawsuit, because you'll be sued the day you have that car wreck. I can tell you. I was sued 7 years ago for multi-million dollars because a guy hit me on a bicycle in my Range Rover, but he was a construction worker, but he was going to be a brain surgeon. He just hadn't gone to school yet. He sued me for $5 million. We won. I had an umbrella policy. It hired an attorney smarter than his, which wasn't real difficult. But if I'd have lost, the umbrella policy would have paid the settlement. And unless you have one, you need to reassess who you're working with, because you can be sued. And you can't buy an umbrella policy after you. I'm not anti-attorney. I mean, I had a great attorney that represented me. How you doing? Good to see you again. But the thing is you can be sued. Get an umbrella policy. It's a few $100 a year. You can't buy it after you have a car wreck. Legal at death. If you don't have a plan, the state of Florida has a plan for you. It's called intestate. That means the state of Florida determines who gets your money, not you. So we want to make sure that your legal documents are taken care of, who gets your money, when they get your money, how you want it paid out, no probate, no family conflict, no in-law problems. Because I can tell you, anybody got any kids in here? Raise your hand, you got any kids? Any of you have any in-laws? In-laws can become outlaws. They will take your kids' money to their new families, and don't tell me it can't happen. We can protect your assets at death from all the problems with your lovely children. Now, divorce, disability, tax problems, spending problems. I have a client that says, man, guys, how many kids you got? She goes, I got 3, but I only own 2. Because you know why? One went that way, and you can't bring them back. They spent tens of thousands of dollars on rehab and drug rehab. He's been in prison and everything else, and they can't handle it anymore. You have to decide who gets your money, when they get it, how they get it, and protect it from all the things that can happen to your family. And as long as people are people, I've got a job. Okay, and by the way, I'm not doing this for that TV show over there, that website show today. This is how I do every seminar, right, Dina?
Absolutely.
Because I'm passionate about what I do, because I don't want you to see you lose any more money. You know how? Let me tell you what. I get paid one time when you become a client, right? One time, and it's not enough. All right? Your broker gets paid whether you make money or not. Market's up, market down, doesn't matter. Hello, Margaret. How are you? Didn't mean to ignore you over there. That's Margaret DeBrow. Most people call her Scotty. She's got a beautiful little dog that loves Freddie, right?
Yes.
Right? How long you been with me now?
It's 5 years now. But I thought
How's it worked out for you?
Worked out fine.
You just referred your girlfriend and her husband, too.
Yes, I did.
And they can't wait to see Freddie next week,
Yes,
right?
absolutely.
This is Arlene,
Yes.
Tom. This is Tom Gargiulo and Arlene Volpe. And Tom and Arlene have an art foundation here in Palm Coast. About a fact, the art that you see on the Riverwalk over there was donated by their artist, right?
Right.
And the Palm Coast didn't want to pay to have it put in because they're stupid, okay? You know, you said, look, I'm going to give you some culture, take it. But he does a lot of nice work, a lot of charity work, and you'll see him in the paper all the time, and his and Arlene, and they do a beautiful job. If I went to their home, it looked like an art gallery in there. I even bought some from you, right? But anyway, they've been with me. You've been with me how long?
6 years.
How's it worked out?
Very good.
Did anybody pay you to say that today? I love this. I bet he paid those people to come. Sir, I can't afford for those people to come. Look, I had a lady go, I bet you wrote the testimonials on your website. I said, ma'am, just do me a favor. Check no on that consultation form. Miss Mizuger, you came to me again last week, didn't you?
Yes, I did.
You've been with me a few years?
Yes, I am.
How's it worked out for you?
Very good.
Huh? You happy with the service?
Yes, I am.
Have I returned your phone calls?
Promptly.
Is that important?
Yes.
You know, I had a washer dryer I brought because mine was 10 years old. It broke. I bought a Samsung, the best one they had at Home Depot, right? Have you ever called Samsung's 1-800-WHO-CARES number and get someone that doesn't care? And then you can't get them to come and service the unit? And then I get a computer that says, can I call you Fred? I said, no, you can't call me Fred. This is a computer. They're talking to me. Oh my God. I'm tired of dealing with this 1-800 crap.
Yes.
Everybody goes, how do you speak to the Portuguese? They habla inglés. They speak English. They're American. Listen, you deserve better service than you're getting. I had a guy call his broker to talk to me the other day. I said, I hung up on him. I can't talk to him. I don't know who you are, sir. Only person that I'm going to talk to is you or someone who has your power of attorney. And by the way, Christine can testify to this. 80% of the people I meet with, their legal documents will not work when they need them because they're out of date. Right, Christine? If you have a power of attorney and you're married or you're not married and you need to pull money out of your spouse's IRA account and that power of attorney won't work, you're out of luck, my friend. You're going to have to take them to guardianship and spend about $15,000 and wait a year because have them declared incompetent. And none of your brokers are calling you about it. None of your attorneys are calling you about it. I got him over here. The guy died and half the stuff he did was junk years ago. I won't say his name because he's dead, but he was in the paper. If your stuff isn't up to date, I'm going to bring it up to date. But you got to make an appointment. I'm not there to move money to move money. I'm going to do what's right the first time. There's not going to be mistakes with the money. You know? I had a guy one time, he goes, you know, Fred, I don't hire attorneys. I said, I understand, sir. In other words, he takes care of business himself. I said, sir, I understand. Don't ever make a veiled threat to me again. But you won't ever have to worry about that because I won't make a mistake with the money. I might misspell a name. I may not pronounce your name. If you don't speak English, I got people that speak every language. But money is money. And my number one job is to protect the money and grow it without risk of loss. That is my number one job. Third risk, beneficiary risk. Anybody got second marriage in here? No? Well, if you have a husband and wife and they marry later in life and you got kids and she's got kids, they're not going to like you when he dies. Because you're not their what? Blood mother. Right? I just had a client last summer that they went on a cruise. They go on a cruise every year. And she said, you know what? Andy's not in good health. I better buy insurance. He got sick on the boat. They had to fly him off the boat. It was $100,000. Her insurance paid for it, but the deductible was $15,000. He died at the hospital. His kids called me. Why did my dad leave her the house? Because he loved her, maybe? That's a true story. They've been married for 32 years. Yeah, but my dad made that money when he was married to my mom 30 years ago. I'm telling you, don't think it can't happen to you. I'm not your lovely children, I'm sure. As long as look, money will change people. I can tell you right now. When you put money in front of kids or grandkids, I don't have one client And I got multi-millionaire clients, not one of them has a Ferrari. You didn't go buy a Ferrari, are you?
Not yet.
Huh? Not yet?
I'm waiting for
Maybe,
some
Louis?
money.
How to get some more money? And they don't want their kids buying one when they die with their money. And all my clients' kids get a letter from me of introduction. You know why? Because sooner or later we're all going to what? Pass away. I had a guy go, I haven't croaked yet. And I said, I ain't heard that one. But when you pass away, you know how the kids find out what you own? Through the mail. And that can be a disaster. Okay? That can be a disaster. Do you know the average inheritance is spent within a year and a half of death? All of it? All of your money that you saved up your whole life is gone within a year and a half? You know why my clients got millions? Because they're what? Savers, not spenders. Right? Right, Margaret? Huh? Your daughter gets my letter every month. Because I get a newsletter that goes out every month to my clients. You got a copy of one today in your folder. And in that newsletter, there's always a testimonial. And this last month, by the way, the newsletter for December is zero. You earned zero last year in the market. Why would you risk your money for zero? I can beat zero. I can beat zero. But zero is a good number on 9/11 when people lost half their net worth. And in 2007 to 2009, half the money in the world was lost. 34 trillion was lost in market risk in between 07 and 09. Look it up. But these people I met about 2 months ago, they wrote a letter. And it was a referral. And he referred his sister-in-law to me. Well, when I talked to her broker on the phone and she wanted to get out of the market, I had to fill out paperwork. And so the broker, and when she called her brother-in-law, he goes, man, Fred was tough on my broker. I don't know. He's got a dynamic personality. 2 months later, boy, I'm glad Fred was tough on that broker. Boy, I'm glad I met Fred. Here it is. My husband and I sat down with Fred Haggy 3 months ago. His advice and active involvement in assisting us with our money has been a blessing. We like to believe we were knowledgeable about how and where to invest, but Fred's recommendations were so practical and right for us. He actually rescued us from a declining stock market. If you were in the market in December, you lost money. My clients didn't. End of story. You want to join them? But Fred's recommendations were practical, and he saved us from losing thousands of dollars in the market. We'd highly recommend Fred to anyone considering retirement or in retirement, or has already retired, or simply needs good advice. He's a straight shooter. He will never steer you wrong. Folks, this is real stuff. This is last month. This is last month. I had a lady that's getting ready to retirement with money in her 401k lost $100,000 in December. You lost $100,000, you go crazy. Huh? You're going to be looking to kill somebody. Okay? Huh? You lose $100,000? Let me tell you what. $100,000? I make a lot of money. Do you want to lose any money?
No.
Huh?
Nope.
I don't want to end up in the intercoastal over there.
No.
Them lead shoes. Look, she had $600,000. She's retiring in 6 months. She worked 40 years for Grumman aircraft industry in Melbourne. She lost $100,000. Yeah, but the market's going to come back. What do you got, a crystal ball genius? In 1929, it took 27 years to recover. You're 75 years old. How long you got to make it back? And here's what the broker tells you. Don't worry, it's only a paper loss. Well, put the paper back in there. Oh, don't worry, Mr. Consalves, we're in it for the long run. I'm 80. In the paper tomorrow, in the Observer, I've got an ad. Are you tired of hearing that stuff? Paper loss. My clients that worked in the construction industry that are Portuguese worked 40 years. How long did you work in the union?
24.
You could 24.
44.
44. You could lose half your net worth tonight in the market, today in the market, that you've got in there. And I met with you and your daughter 2 years ago, right?
Yes.
Your daughter,
Yes.
right? How did it work out?
Okay.
Everything beautiful, right?
Yes. Works.
And your friend you recommended, Mr. Machado in New Jersey, lost his daughter last month, didn't he?
Yes.
Did I call him? Did I care about it? He called me, he thanked me for that. Because his daughter, 40 years old, died of breast cancer. And I gave a darn. And he wrote me a letter in my text message. Dear Fred, saddest day of my life. My daughter Maria died today, 40 years old. Thank you for being so kind and caring. That's what I do. I don't care what those brokers say about me. They get mad at me in Palm Coast. I'm taking all their doggone money. And I'm not done yet. Because I got another 15 years to work. And what do you think? Merrill Lynch bought Bank of America because they like you? They bought it because they want your money. You can't even go cash a check without getting steered to some broker over there. And I got news for you, my friend. You better read their sign at that brokerage firm before you give them your money. Here's a prime example of one right here. I just copied it last week. Watch this. ViStar Credit Union. Where is it? ViStar Credit Union. I got it right here. If you go to the bank and you go to cash a check and they say, by the way, do you know you have $300,000, Mr. Concavas, in your bank account? Well, who gave you permission to look? Who gave you permission to look in my bank account? And Mr. and Miss Bertola, where are you at? Where are you at? Right there? You just became a client 2 months ago, right?
Yes.
And you went to a bank. You didn't even understand. You didn't understand how bad it was, did you? When you came to me, every dime you gave me is in that account. Did you get online?
Yeah.
Did you see all the dinero?
Yeah.
Mucho dinero.
I hope that.
You better be glad. And you referred your friends to me that came down, and she called me last month, and she's going to work with me because she bought a house in Palm Coast. ViStar Credit Union. Do you have a retirement coach? Schedule a no-cost, no-obligation consultation appointment today. You better say no. Because at the bottom it says you can lose money with our broker. Not FDIC insured, LPL Financial is not an employee of ViStar. If they're not an employee, what do you got their name on your letterhead for then? Who do they work for? They work for your bank. They don't want you coming to see Fred. And it's every bank. Except for that one here, Investors Bank. What's that one that, where's Maria? Intercoastal, they don't have a broker yet. They will. Because when you go in there and you got 300 or 400 grand in that checking account, I have a lady, she's not here today, and she's about 80 years old, and her daughter's a client of mine, and she went to her bank, she says, and they go, Mrs. Sission, do you know you've got $700,000 in your money market? Yeah. Would you like us to help you? No. Well, why do you have it in there? It's my money. That's why I've got it in there. And since you're only paying me 1.1% on it, Mr. Hackney's going to send you a form to move it. Well, Mrs. Sission, do you know we have a broker? I don't want to meet with him. They will not guarantee your principal or your interest. And if it's not guaranteed, why would you have it there? And I'm not here to tell you not to do it. You want to gamble on the market or put your money in CDs at nothing? Go ahead. There's better things for you to do with it. There's better things for you to do with it. Second marriages, income loss at first death, long-term care. I had a lady yesterday, she had a long-term care policy she bought 10 years ago. It was $2,000 a year in premium. It's $16,000 a year in premium now. $16,000 to pay for her insurance for disability for her and her husband. They make it unaffordable. So let me show you how to use your money to supercharge it for long-term care without buying the insurance. Someone says, well, why didn't everybody do it with you, Fred? Because not everybody's as smart as you, Mrs. Jones. I hear that, well, why didn't everybody do it? I don't know. My answer now is, not everybody's as smart as you, Mrs. Zuger. We're dealing with Fred. And listen, I don't talk bad about any broker in town. They do enough damage on their own. I don't care what they do. My clients want safety. You have to have the money and have a foundation before you can grow it. You can't grow it like a roller coaster up and down. I thought I brought it with me today, and I might have. Let's see if I brought one. Oh yeah, I just happen to have it here. Someone says, well, what do you do, Fred? I'm glad you asked. Watch this. By the way, I don't do a lot of PowerPoint or any of that kind of stuff. The reason that I use this board, if I say it only, you'll remember 10%. If I say it and write it, you remember 80%. The best thing you need to remember today is don't lose my card. Treat it like $1 million gold. Because I can tell you one thing, my clients, half of my new clients come from referrals from all over the country. New York, New Jersey, California, Connecticut. Some lady goes, why do all the Yankees move to Florida? I said, where are you from? She says, Connecticut. I said, why'd you move? Have you ever been to Connecticut in January? I said, so you want to move to Florida, but nobody else can move to Florida, right? Someone says, what about that traffic in Palm Coast? My buddy in Union, New Jersey takes him 2 hours each way to go to work. We don't have any traffic in Palm Coast, right, Mr. Martola? No problem, right? Look. And so, what I'm going to do, who's someone here for the first time? Raise your hand. I'm not going to pick on you, sir. No, we're not. This client of mine became a client in 2010. What did him and his wife give me? And you got to put your readers on?
Yeah.
Okay. What did they invest with me in 2010? $476,000. They got a bonus of doing it, right?
Yeah, 47,000.
So they put in $523,000. How much have they taken out in 10 years? Right there.
179,000.
What's the account worth, sir?
540,000.
Welcome to the firm, Fred Hackney. Nice to meet you. Good to see you. Look, this is a statement I just got yesterday. And you know what? The reason I do what I do, because I don't want to go to you and your wife or you and your widow and say, by the way, you gave me 800 grand, it's only worth 200,000. These people gave me 523,000. They've taken out 179,000 and the account's worth 530,000. End of story. Period. Well, what is it? Who cares? What do you mean, what is it? It's what I recommend. It's an insurance product. That is anyway, because I'm a veteran. Any veterans in here today? No veterans of the services are here? I'm the only one? Well, we'll give you, Portuguese Air Force, we'll take it. Well, that's a paratrooper for Portugal. Let's have a round of applause. Weren't you in there, Portuguese? Right? Listen, if you won't stand for my flag, I'm not watching your football game. Because without being... Go try to make $1 million a year someplace else. A game. With that education and those tattoos. Look. So I said, he goes, Fred, where do you see any problems? I said, well, you got an IRA of $700. Anybody have an IRA in here? Raise your hand if you have an IRA. I know you have them. I'm not going to ask you how much. I don't care if it's $100,000 or $10 million. The only person that can inherit that IRA tax-free is your spouse. At second death, when your kids get that IRA, what does IRA stand for? Individual retirement account. It should never be put at risk of loss, in my opinion, in the stock market, because it's a what? Retirement account. But when your kids get that money, they got several options. One, they can take it and pay the tax and spend it. How many do you think do that? About 95%. 95% of all IRAs are spent within 2 years of death to zero. The second option is they can leave it in your name for the benefit of them, roll it over to their IRA in an IRA tax-free, leave it there 5 years, and then take it out over their lifetime, which turns 100,000 into about 300,000. Right? Now, how many kids you think know that? Not many. So I said, sir, and by the way, I said, why did you come to me today? why am I in your home today? He said, that $700,000 used to be worth $1.4 million. What happened to it? Stock market. And he said, Fred, I'm sick of bleeding money. Because I'm 70 what? 6 years old. Not 36, 76. So he says, well, what do you think of my program? I said, well, you have no guarantees on your IRA. You've done no planning for your required minimum distribution. You've done no tax planning at death. You have market risk in your variable annuity. You're paying $16,000 a year in fees. Sound familiar, Mr. and Ms. Bertola? In fees a year. You have an income loss of $70,000 when your husband dies. You've got a will from New Jersey that was written in 1984, and you have no service here locally on your account. Other than that, you're in good shape. Now, I said, are these your concerns? He said, yes. I said, do you want me to fix them? What do you think he said?
Yes.
Well, anybody would say yes that has a good mind, right? But if you tell me no, I'll pack up my bag and I'll leave. Don't matter to me. I had a guy call me yesterday that wanted to move his appointment up a month from now because he's scared to heck about what's happening in the stock market. Because there's no guarantees there. None. Zero. And those guys on TV, on all those financial programs, they can't recommend what you should do. They don't even know who you are. Well, so-and-so said I should buy this stock. You think he might own some of it? I was in that cesspool of Wall Street for 15 years. It's a casino. It is not guaranteed. They always make money. Whether you make money or not, and if they lose you money and your husband dies, what are you going to do? Publix? Winn-Dixie? Walmart? Home Depot? My clients work in those places because they want to, not because they have to. And I can tell you right now, I don't care who you vote for. Look, let me ask you a question. If you walked out of here today and someone put a gun to your head and said, give me all your money, if they catch them, they're going to go to what? Jail. If it's the IRS, you don't give it to them, you go to jail. I paid my fair share. You ever hear those politicians up there? I tell you what, if that's the smartest and brightest we got in America, we are in trouble. Nancy Pelosi and McConnell. God, get him, go to a nursing home. Gobbleneck. If that 535 is the best we got in America, we are in trouble. And I'll tell you this, another thing. I could have left this country a long time ago. But I didn't because my father fought for it, and I'm going to fight for it. And if you don't like America, get out of it. Period. And if you come here, don't ask for welfare if you didn't pay into it. And the last thing I want to say today, you know, when Obamacare came out, my premium went up 100%. I can afford it. You can afford it, but I'd be darned if I like paying it. And no one named Obama got it. No one named Obama got it. And I heard it, millionaire and billionaire. Now he is a millionaire.
Yeah.
Flying on private jets. But I tell you one other thing. The Democrats are just as bad as the Republicans. All of them want that money, baby. And next time I hear somebody on TV talk about an entitlement program, here's what you've got to say. No one's entitled to my money that didn't pay into the system. I got clients that are disabled veterans that get $1,300 a month, and then legal alien gets $1,800 a month, and never paid into it. Someone says, you ought to run for president. I said, I wouldn't pass a background check. Not that I've done anything wrong, but they would find something that I did 30 years ago. Good Lord, what I did 30 years ago, I wouldn't want people to know. But I'll tell you one last thing. I had a top secret clearance in the military, and if I had taken one dime of paper out of that communication command, I'd be in Leavenworth today, versus less destroy emails on private servers, Miss Clinton. She ought to be in prison.
You got that right.
You can clap for that. I worked in a top secret communication command that I had to account for everything that was in that communication center. And if I would have taken one thing out of there or destroyed one document, I would be in Leavenworth today. And I'm sitting there, you know, it makes me sick. But what I am is I'm 100% American. And I'm going to fight for this country till the day I die. And I hope you guys will too. If you want an appointment, make one. Philly's going to come around and pick up your sheets. If you don't hand it in, here you go, I got one left. I'm not going to tell you where I live. I mailed you. I know where you live. The other lady, here's the best one I ever heard. I'm not going to make an appointment because the lady next to me didn't. We don't even know her. God, it's tough. I'm telling you. But I hope you enjoyed the seminar. Enjoy the good Portuguese food. Philly's going to come around with Marie and pick up your questionnaires. God bless. Thank you.